everybody, Chris from Six Wins here with Matt.
Hello.
And we know, wrestling's fake. It's not real, don't you guys know?
Like, it's not real?
They say it's not real.
Like, those guys aren't, like, we don't really know that, like, Roman Reigns would beat up anybody in a fight?
Yeah,
He's just pretending?
Yeah, apparently there's, like, writers and they tell you who's gonna win or lose. But one thing that I have noticed in wrestling, there are a lot of dumb moves. I hate to say it. I am one of the biggest wrestling fans that I know. And I wanted to create a video to talk about the top 6 dumbest wrestling moves of all time.
This is gonna be great.
I know, I want to preface by saying, I know that it's entertainment. I was just kidding with the fake stuff. Yes, it's predetermined. We all know that. Some of these guys are doing the most athletic, crazy moves despite it being predetermined. So it does take a lot of athleticism to be a pro wrestler, but I couldn't help but notice some of these moves are just dumb.
Like you said, we all know wrestling is predetermined and that the moves are done to look real, but to try and minimize any real injury or damage to somebody. But there are some moves when you see them that just take you out of that reality because nobody would ever, one, like do this to somebody expected to like do something good that they wanted, and two, it would never hurt anybody or something like that. So I don't know what your 6 are. They might be things that do actually look painful, but like a nose pull, I don't like that does hurt if you really do that to somebody, but that's a stupid wrestling move.
So without further ado, the 6th dumbest wrestling move, the Cesaro swing. Sorry, I was entertained by it, but you're not harming the person. It literally just came down to like a feat of strength, which, truth be told, is a great feat of strength. I couldn't do it to anybody, but...
No, you could. We'll test it out. I think we could do it. I think you could get me 10 swings.
10 swings?
I bet you watching right now, your like and subscription, that Chris can Cesaro swing me 10 times.
All right.
We'll do a video and prove it.
Okay, we'll like, share, comment. And if, whatever.
If we fail, we'll like, share, and subscribe to you and your 0 video output.
Yeah. Come on, we're cranking out a video a day over here, working our butts off. Really, when you get down to it, say I'm not a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
What is he really doing? He's getting just as dizzy as the guy that he's making dizzy. And it was always... Okay, the only impressive part was how he would stand still afterwards, where the other guy was just like, whoa! And he would just be like, ah! And I'd always wonder, like, how is it, like, it's pretty impressive that he's standing tall after just spinning around 40 times or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he did, so.
That's a good one. I think that's a fair, kind of dumb wrestling move that was more for crowd entertainment than for anything realistic in a match.
Yeah. I'll give an honorable mention to the Worm. We were all entertained.
Wow, surprise, not number 1 out there for you. The Worm is not gonna make it.
Worm's not gonna make it. The 5th dumbest wrestling move, the reverse of the figure 4. Every time someone would get someone else into the figure 4, they would be like, oh, can they turn over to reverse the pressure? Have you ever done it on someone? If you were like around our age and you grew up watching wrestling, we've tried all these moves. So it doesn't reverse the pressure. Don't lie to me. Don't insult my intelligence as a pro wrestling fan thinking don't try this at home. Of course we're going to try it at home.
Yeah, that one, I'm able to suspend my disbelief for that one, but I think the easiest thing is if you're the person that locked into figure 4 initially and it does get reversed, like, it's very easy. Like, I think you have the ability to just kind of, like, unlatch from that move. Like, you're not, like, trapped in it. It could, in theory, like, reverse the pressure if you left your legs there and, like, they could push back or something. But, like, you could just, like, I'm gonna break the hold.
Yeah. The 4th dumbest wrestling move, the catapult.
Stop, drop, and roll. That's the way it works.
Your sarcasm is certainly noted. Right now, Val Venis in control and Randy Orton hard into the...
Sure, it was entertaining. I always picture Shawn Michaels being the one being catapulted because it does take a lot of athleticism, but just
do that extra jump at the end.
Yeah. But if you're, not a wrestling fan, you're gonna see that and you're gonna you shake your head. That's dumb. Of course, us wrestling fans can suspend our disbeliefs, and there were times where they would bust it out at like a key point during the match, and it's where the momentum would swing. But I don't know. Were you a fan of the catapult?
No, I'm not a fan of the catapult. I will say there is a variation of the catapult that works. It's when a guy is trapped under the bottom rope and you catapult him up and like into his neck and throat. Like sometimes they do that, and that you can believe.
Yeah, usually you'd see it if they're doing it in the ring. Dolph Ziggler is another one who does
smack the back of the.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. How they turn like
always into the turnbuckle,
the post into like whatever, and then it was kind of like sounded hollow in there.
Yeah.
So they would. Yeah. So that's my number 4.
Yes, because we got more.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah. Okay. The third dumbest wrestling move. The Bronco Buster.
Triple H, you're gonna get your ass beat. You're gonna get your ass fired. Bronco Buster. This is humiliation.
This was famously done by X-Pac.
Everybody's favorite wrestler.
Everybody's favorite wrestler, but you know, it would be one thing if it looked like a devastating move or if it took any athletic ability whatsoever, but just get your balls out of my face, man. It just seems more humiliating than anything.
Yeah.
And I just never was a fan. Even when I was a fan of X-Pac, I liked the X Factor. Never a fan of the Bronco Buster.
I wasn't ever really either, and a couple of my friends when we were growing up really liked that move, and of course when we would all do wrestling moves to each other at friends' birthday parties, especially the ones with less parental supervision, and it was just chaos in like their living room. I was on the receiving end of many a Bronco Buster, because I had one or two friends that were just small little twerp guys that liked X-Pac and just hit me with a Bronco Buster, and I was like, stupid.
Yeah.
But I took it well. I sold it well. It is one of the moves, aside from like this Rikishi stink face, that you would maybe most want to have one of the female wrestlers do to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the second dumbest wrestling move, the stink face.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, it's got to be on most people's lists if you were a fan of wrestling in the late 90s, early 2000s. I like Rikishi, but the stink face, it's just one that I wouldn't take. I would take Undertaker throwing me off the top of a cell before I'd take a sweaty giant butt to the face. How many people, ended up with pink eye by taking the stink face, I'll never know.
I'll be honest, I popped for some bad, corny moves. I popped for the worm, I loved it, but I didn't. The stink face wasn't cool or funny. It wasn't even funny to me. But then as I got older and women started doing it, I was like, I like this. Can they keep doing that move?
Yeah, just shows how far we've come. I don't know if anyone would be able to pull that off in 2024. Maybe, but
I almost feel like somebody's done it recently, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Not really. It's almost one of those like when they do bring like somebody back at Royal Rumble, or if they do have like a weird battle royal, Andre the Giant, they bring back legends. Like somebody will do that as like a callback or something.
Yeah. Number 1's coming up. You have any guesses? Pause the video, leave a comment, let us know. What do you think is the dumbest wrestling move ever? My number 1 is a wrestling move that's performed fairly often right now in 2024. The dumbest wrestling move ever. Damian Priest's earbox.
Priest, to remind me earlier tonight, he went almost a year undefeated.
I mean, I could totally picture it, but I don't feel like I've seen him do it recently.
Yeah, so he doesn't know this is coming. We'll do a demo, and just to show you. So he'll usually do it from behind,
wow.
facing the guy. Like
God,
everybody knows,
actually.
everybody knows an earbox would actually hurt where you smack the guys in the ears. His couldn't be more blatantly obvious that he's not hurting, because all he does is he claps in front of the guy's face. It's like something you'd see, I don't know, in the 80s when things were just super cartoony and over the top, like the back scratch, like,
oh my God, that's such a good move. They would. I want that.
Just like the the headbutt is even fine, but I'm not even a Damian Priest hater. I like the idea of him cashing in that Money in the Bank, getting the push, but Damian, man, you gotta stop doing the earbox. It's couldn't be worse. So that's my number 1 dumbest wrestling move.
Went for the attitude adjustment. Priest boxing the ears of truth.
Great list, Chris. Do you know any more dumb wrestling moves? Do you want to one-up us with dumbness? Do you want to show off your wrestling moves? Don't try them at home. Don't send us videos if you're trying dumb wrestling moves.